Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Dr. Anthony Fauci coming forward today with new information on the second doses of COVID vaccine and why they may be the key to protection. Grant?
General Motors announces a $1 billion investment in electric vehicles, but not in the U.S. Coming up, find out where that money is going and what auto workers are saying.
A local family gets a sad surprise at a local cemetery as they're told their loved one isn't buried where they thought he was. A Detroit family makes an upsetting discovery while taking on the somber task of exhuming a loved one's body.
They wanted to move the remains out of Gethsemane Cemetery on Gratiot near Connor, but those remains were nowhere to be found beneath the grave marker. Priya Mann live at the cemetery. Priya, there were other bodies in that spot.
Four bodies was in there, and none of them was his.
A Detroit family was shocked when they discovered their loved one's gravesite had several bodies inside.
Everybody that got a loved one at Gethsemane, get up here and figure out where y'all people at, because they not where they say they at.
Desmond Stinson had suffered seizures for years and died in his sleep.
All these years, he died in 2016. We out here visiting somebody else at where his grave marker is at.
The family buried him at Gethsemane Cemetery. Desmond's mom recently passed, and the family wanted to bury Desmond next to his mother at a different cemetery. When they tried to exhume the body, they found several in his plot.
There's no reason why a single grave has 4 people in it. How? And we paid for a single one.
Everybody is blaming somebody, but that we are the victims in all of this.
This cemetery is messed up.
The family is now worried this isn't an isolated case.
If that's not my loved one, whoever Alan C. Williams is, I just seen their body in my loved one's spot. So I got other family members out here. Are they where they're supposed to be at?
Yeah, this is just a heartbreaking and unbelievable discovery. The city did release a statement saying, in part, we deeply apologize for the pain and upset this mistake has caused the Stinson family and are working to fully correct it as soon as possible. At this time, we believe there was a record-keeping issue related to this gravesite. Based on a review of available records, we believe Mr. Stinson was buried in an adjacent grave. Now, the city is working to confirm that. Meanwhile, state police are now tasked with trying to determine who those other 4 people were. Reporting live tonight, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Well, Priya, talk a little bit about the city's history of owning that cemetery.
So, as you know, Devin, this cemetery has been around since the 1800s.
Yeah.
The city took ownership shortly after bankruptcy, and they say that a management company walked away from its contract last year. So the city currently in litigation with that company and won't release any further information on that.
All right, Priya.
Send it back to you.
You got it.
All right, checking our weather, it looks really nice, but you might be surprised once you set foot outside.
Yeah, kind of chilly and windy, even though the sunshine is nice, Ben.
Yes, false advertising is what we'll call it. But yes, we will be seeing our coldest night of the forecast tonight, even though we're going to finish with a lot of this sunshine. Sure looks nice from outside the kitchen window, that's for sure. Mid-50s current temperatures. There are those winds. The sustained winds at 15 to 20, but the gusts are still over 30 miles per hour. The good news is those will subside pretty quickly as we get past sunset tonight. Temperatures are going to drop off too. We'll be down to the mid-40s by midnight tonight, and we're going to the 30s in almost all locations. There's even going to be some 20s out there, and look at how many spots are going to end up below freezing by tomorrow morning. We'll look at this in your 4-zone forecast, put some numbers on it, and also talk rain for the weekend because there will be chances out there. If you want to get a head start on when to expect those drops, check out the 48-hour forecast, hour by hour rain chances all the way through the weekend, only in the Local Forecasters app, free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
All right, Ben. Now let's turn to the coronavirus as Michigan sees its first case of a new variant.
The variant from India was found in a person in Clinton County. Today, the U.S. announced it will restrict travel from India starting Tuesday over concerns about the variant and the country's devastating surge in cases. In Michigan today, the state reported 3,440 new cases and 35 more deaths.
50% of the state population has received at least one vaccine dose. Starting Tuesday, FEMA's Ford Field mass vaccination site will start offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and they'll also accept walk-ins. Now, about 8% of Americans have not returned for their second shot of either Pfizer or Moderna.
Today, Dr. Anthony Fauci presented research showing why that second dose really could be the difference between being protected or not. Take a look at the results from a study in Israel comparing the real-life protection after the first and second dose. In those who received just one dose of the Pfizer vaccine, the effectiveness was just 57% against symptomatic COVID versus 94% in those who received both doses. Fauci said the second dose is even more important in people who have a weakened immune system, such as organ recipients or cancer patients.
There are a lot of people in society who are on things like glucocorticoids for autoimmune diseases that may not get a good enough response after the first dose, and we absolutely want them to get the second dose.
Dr. Fauci urged everyone to make getting that second dose a top priority.
It's estimated at least 3,000 Michigan restaurants are permanently closed because of the COVID shutdowns.
One right here in the city of Detroit is trying to buck that trend, but the owner tells our business editor Rod Maloney he's had to do something he hoped he could avoid.
Back in 2017, serial entrepreneur and Detroiter Donald McCoy took everything he had, he said roughly $1 million, bought this old steakhouse at 7 Mile and Telegraph and called it Demi's, his daughter being Demi. Turned it into a nice place that had a pretty good reputation and was picking up steam. That is, until March 17th of last year, when COVID hit, which forced everything shut down. And with his business closed, COVID then hit Donald.
I caught COVID on March 20th of last year, and I was down for 2 months. That was the worst feeling ever.
Months later, when the governor allowed for minimal restaurant openings, Donald didn't have the cash to bring back his 18 employees, so he decided he'd open himself.
Maybe I'll try to barbecue and grill in the parking lot. Sell hot dogs and bratwurst and barbecue. But that was very challenging too.
A vast departure from what we saw in a 2017 Local 4 Tasty Tuesday featuring Demi's lamb chops, fried and grilled, lobster burgers, and specialty meatloaf shots. The outdoor cooking didn't work. The bills and debt grew out of control.
My pride would not let me open up a GoFundMe because I've always been the one helping people.
And yet that's what he's left with. Help keep Detroit's Demi's restaurant and bar open on GoFundMe with the ambitious goal of $150,000 showed up online. We will link to it on clickondetroit.com.
It's very devastating to work so hard for something and to potentially lose it, for something that's not my own fault.
And Donald says that the only thing really that can save Demi's now is that GoFundMe page because the tax man calling. The tax deadline is the 15th of May. He says he may be able to push it farther, but as things stand right now, it's do or die time. In Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Sounds like it. All right, Rod. New video shows the moments leading up to a deadly crash last night in Sterling Heights. Surveillance video shows several people stealing 4 cars from Jim Reel the Romeo dealership in Washington Township. Sheriff's deputies caught up to the stolen vehicles. Dash cam video shows part of that chase. They all went in separate directions with at least one driver going 100 miles an hour. Police say they stopped the chase, but the driver of one of the stolen cars blew a red light and crashed at 15 Mile and Van Dyke, and a 20-year-old woman was killed. A 17-year-old boy was arrested at the scene. Those other 3 suspects remain on the run.
A teenager faces felony charges in a crash that killed 2 of her friends in LaSalle Township. 17-year-old Autumn Webb was charged with driving under the influence causing death and reckless driving causing death. Prosecutors say Webb had marijuana in her system when she crashed her Jeep into a pole last September. 19-year-old Jonathan Porkarski and his fiancee, 17-year-old Heavenly Thies, who were riding with her, died in that crash. Webb faces up to 15 years in prison. She is due back in court next month.
United Auto Workers Union not mincing words after General Motors' announcement that it is spending $1 billion on a plant in Mexico to build electric vehicles. The union calling it unseemly. Now, Grant Herms joins us now. Grant, this happened just days after the president called for more production in the U.S.
And that was a key part of his speech to Congress earlier this week. The UAW saying they're already working with the White House and Congress to stop something like this from happening again, which could put GM in a tight spot. General Motors announcing it's investing in the production of electric vehicles, but this time it's not in the U.S. The automaker saying it would invest more than $1 billion in its Ramos Arizpe complex in Mexico. In a statement, the CEO of GM Mexico saying, quote, "We are very proud to contribute to the realization of GM's vision of zero collisions, zero emissions, zero congestion, contributing to the manufacture of electric vehicles." But the investment comes just after President Biden promised more focus on American jobs created around electric vehicles during his address to Congress this week.
So, folks, there's no reason why American workers can't lead the world in the production of electric vehicles and batteries. I mean, there is no reason. We have the capacity.
The move from GM also getting fierce backlash from United Auto Workers. In a set of statements, UAW's vice president for the GM department calling it a slap in the face to auto workers, and that they were already working with the White House and Congress to prevent it from happening again, saying U.S. taxpayer money should never subsidize products assembled in Mexico or any other country. American-made means American jobs. Now, representatives from neither GM nor the UAW were available for interviews today, although GM did say in a statement that they've already pledged about $9 billion to EV and battery production in the U.S. so far. Back to you.
Got it. All right, Grant. 2020 was a fruitful year for GM CEO Mary Barra. Meanwhile, the automaker says Barra received a compensation package worth $23.7 million last year. That's up more than 9% from 2019. Barra made a salary of $2 million, had stock awards and options worth more than $16 million, and received a performance award worth more than $3 million. Barra made more than 200 times the average pay for a General Motors employee.
Ahead, the red flags to look out for in a scam involving people's grandparents. It's on the rise in one part of Oakland County.
And here's Larry Spruill. Larry.
A man is in jail tonight on leading police on several high-speed chases. I'm Larry Spruill, and I'll tell you how he got caught and the charges he's now facing.